I want to talk about the defections now in particular. And, it's exciting for some people to watch. Every 3-4 years we go through this gale of, okay, we're moving back to this place because, there's so many theories. Maybe I can't get a ticket here, so I need to move here. I feel like this government is going to win, so I need to align myself early enough, and all those things. But is it healthy for our democracy, especially when you elect a representative on a particular platform and they switch parties whenever they want without the consent of the person who voted them in there? Why is that still possible? Do you think it is right?
Well, I feel it is healthy for our democracy. And why I say this is because our democracy is still growing. We haven't spent up to 100 years with democracy, so our democracy is still growing.
We're just going on 20 now.
Yes, we're just going on 20. So I feel it is very good for our system. But in analyzing this situation, we need to categorize the defectors. There are some defectors that they are defecting is legitimate, is in the best interest of the people, and is in the best interest of democracy. There are also some defectors that they are defecting for their private pocket, and there are some defectors who are defecting on flimsy reasons. So I will start with the ones who I feel are defecting on legitimate reasons and on sound reasons. And before saying this, I need to go back to what happened in 2015. President Muhammad Buhari would not have won the presidential election if certain defections did not occur from PDP to APC. And at the time that people decamped from PDP to APC, their claim was that the PDP government in power at the time was not performing very well. So they felt that they were going to decamp to APC to bring about change. And now, we are all witnessing change now. And if you're in APC now and you've seen that what APC is doing, they've not fulfilled their electoral promises to the people, and there's no democracy in the party, and your followers have told you that, Senator, I don't want you to stay in this party anymore, you decamp. For a political heavyweight and for someone that we can track that is performing and is giving his people dividends of democracy, if that kind of individual decamps to another party, I think he should be encouraged, because one of the hardest things for a politician to do is to leave a winning party and go to an opposition party. Being in the opposition is very difficult. I know what I'm talking about. I know people who are in the opposition is very, very difficult. So for you to see a Nigerian who will willingly say, I want to leave a winning party to go to a party that we're not sure will win an election, especially when PDP just lost Ekiti, in quotes, some weeks ago. So you need to even commend some people that are decamping, because I know a particular state in the southwest, a former senator, they told him to step down, and he stepped down. And after senator, he became a commissioner. So you'll be surprised. Some people can leave Senate and be loyal to their governor and just get any appointment just to remain in government. So if you see someone decamping is not an easy thing to do, because you are going to go and start a new structure. Some of these guys have printed T-shirts, they have printed bosses and all that. So those ones, if they decamp on policy reasons, on strategy reasons, and on the fact that the current party has not fulfilled their promises, then you should commend them. Because if APC is in government now, we can track APC and say, APC, you promised this, have you fulfilled it? So if I'm an APC member and I say that they voted us into office, but we have not fulfilled this thing, and I feel that the party cannot perform, let me go somewhere else. That's a legitimate ground to decamp. But if you see someone who is a political lightweight, who got to office based on the influence of the president or the influence of the governor, and now you are saying that he has performed woefully, and people have said that, we're not going to give you a return ticket, and that kind of individual is decamping to another party.
I'm talking about the legality of it.
No, legality is extremely legal. It's legal.
I know it's legal, but I'm saying, is it something that we should encourage continuously? Because, where do the people now come in? Where do you even draw the line between who's legitimate and who's not? Where do you draw the line between
it shouldn't be encouraged. It shouldn't be encouraged. And the Constitution is even very clear that before you can decamp, there should be a faction. And what that means now is that people come up with all sort of stories. I want to decamp from Abga now, I'll say W Abga. I just sit down in my bedroom and say I'm forming a faction, So to that regard, to that extent, I think it should be condemned, because you can't just sit down in your bedroom. Although determining whether there's a faction in a political party or not is based on facts, and it's the courts that can decide that. But at the same time, I don't think it should be easy for someone to sit down in his bedroom and just say, I'm forming WPDP, Abga. It doesn't make any sense. So in that regard, I think it should be discouraged. But the truth is that because our democracy, our political party system is not based on ideology, it will be very difficult. For the next 20 years, we are going to continue to see defections, because even some of these governors are not good with team management. You see a governor, within 2 months, you are fighting with your senator, So some of these governors are not even exposed. They don't have the political maturity to collaborate with their senators or their House of Rep members. So I think now, if the president, when they decamp, the president called other senators to come to Aso Rock. So the president has seen that we need to manage ourselves. So I think whoever is going to get in next will say that let's manage our senators. So it should not be encouraged, but it is inevitable given the infancy stage of our democracy. But it should certainly not be encouraged. And at the same time, we shouldn't condemn those who are decamping, because some of them have legitimate reasons for decamping.
Do you agree?
Yeah, of course, I agree with what Harold said. But there's always more than what the public can consume when it comes to reasons why politicians defect from one party to the other. But the truth is, when you look at the parties, people that are defecting from the ruling party to the ruling party, you will get to realize that there's something that is quite common to almost all of them. Be it the giants or the other ones who are less giants, you get to agree with me that there's always an interest that is driving.
And it's almost always political.
Exactly.
And I want to talk about now the Senate president in particular, whether we like it or not. I know it's sort of an unspoken war. There's a very cold war between the Senate president and Mr. President Buhari. It's been going on basically since this administration came into power in 2015. And it's basically dictated how APC has sort of morphed up until this point, with loyalists in certain places. We've had RAPC, now we have NPDP, and they're both members of one party, and it's basically sort of informed all of the defections. But Mr. Senate President is still a member of the APC. At least he hasn't come out to say he's left. But body language, which is a huge part of the APC's mantra, seems to say otherwise. What are your thoughts on how that would play out? I mean, the Senate is on recess now. We're expecting changes when he comes back, maybe?
Yes, I'm expecting that before recess comes back, before they resume from their recess, I expect the Senate President to have decamped to PDP in particular, because, you know, INEC has released the timetable for 2019 elections, and based on PDP calendar, from August 4, they will start selling nomination forms, and it will close on August 21.
Do you think he's going to run for president?
Well, I don't think he will run for president. I don't think it will be a smart one to run for president, given all the challenges he's been facing at this point in time. Because, I mean, I think he's been attacked on all fronts, and he's lost energy. Some other PDP candidates have been traveling up and down. Atiku was in Adamawa a couple of weeks ago. I know he's coming to a show on Wednesday. So if all your other Turaki is going everywhere, you know, all the other presidential candidates are going everywhere. Even though the president has not started his campaign, he's indirectly campaigning with his body language, like you rightly said. So I think if he comes into the race, it will be a late entrant. And I don't think it will be good. I don't think it will be politically.
Do you think the Senate President is, some people have said, probably one of the most powerful politicians in the country today?
I agree.
You think he's that powerful, and his movement will pretty much dictate who wins next year?
Yeah, to be honest, the Senate President is a very powerful politician. I must agree. He's powerful, considering all the events that led to where he is at the moment, and of course the things playing out at the plenaries. You get to agree with me that he's a giant. He's someone that you can just push aside and say because yeah. Let's take for instance, if peradventure, which is much expected, he moves to the PDP, then you get to agree with me that he's someone that has a mammoth followership. Right? To be honest with you, he has a large followership. So if he is leaving the APC to the PDP, then you can be rest assured that his followers will definitely go along with him to the PDP. And of course, in one way or the other, this would dim the chances of the APC in the coming election. So, see, oftentimes politicians always lie to themselves, and the people most times are always at the receiving end. Let's take for instance, Konkoso Kano. Now, I read an article today on Telegram, you know, where the writer was trying to say, what if he is obtainable? Now, DPC is doing everything possible to make sure that they further neutralize Konkoso's strength or affluence in Kano. You know, because of course going with the former governor before Konkoso. So because they feel that himself and Konkoso most times in Kano, they're not always on the same page. So I think these defections, Konkoso and others leaving the APC, it is nothing but a leadership failure on the part of the APC leadership. So if these guys in one way or the other decide to leave the APC to the PDP, you cannot wish us by saying that the influence will not have effect on 2019 elections. Yeah, there's one thing that I've come to realize. Oftentimes when you see 2019 elections, what comes to the mind of an every Nigerian is Buhari. There's more to the elections than the president. Peradventure the president wins. I told someone, I said, peradventure the president wins, or eventually he wins. It is certain that it's going to run on a very weak platform, and it's very certain that it's going to have a very troubled regime. Because by the time he wins, and of course a majority of the sitting senators and House of Rep members fail to return to the House, then there's a problem. So I think if peradventure the president wins 2019 and this same thing still continue, is to get worse. It's to get worse and to get very unhealthy for the president.
Yeah.
So giants like Konkaso, with all that we read on social media, forget what you read on social media. When you go to Kano, Konkaso has an occultic followership. I mean, the Red Cap movement is a giant in Kano. With all that the present governor has done to Konkaso in Kano, is supposed to have become history by now.
But there's also the logic that President Buhari, even all the 3 other times when he ran for president and lost, always won Kano. I mean, that's a part of the quote-unquote core north, that's his base. Do you really see him losing that state with or without Konkaso?
To be honest, I don't see him losing Kano. But what I say is, I see his vote depleting significantly. In politics, there are a lot of strategies. You can go into an election saying that, I know I can't win this election, but I want to be the second runner-up. I want to reduce the vote. So I believe he will win Kano, but I feel that the margin will be negligible. With Kwakwanso in PDP, with Shekarawa in PDP, I see that Kwakwanso, they might split it maybe 51.